Hi guys, TwinklePhoenix here, and welcome to the very first episode for Diana's Route. We're actually going to be starting a little bit fast forward into it. We're going to be starting where we meet Lisette, and we get a choice to finally battle it out with her for tripping us up in the goddamn hall, because why not? That's one of our favorite pastimes, is tripping people up in the hall because she's such a cow. Anyway, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be glaring into her soul. I glared hard at Lisette, feeling the wisps of air and magic run through my skin and veins. However, I stopped at what I saw. Around Lisette was a dark purple aura that seemed all too familiar. It was like demon magic, but it seemed tamer. I slowly rose to my feet, collecting my belongings as I continued to stare at Lisette. Something was off. If the ominous presence that kind of looks like Diana in the foreground doesn't give it away, nothing will. As I continued to look at her, the aura grew, forming a shadow behind Lisette, with red eyes like shapes glowing from within its darkness.
Anderson, you alright?
I couldn't respond. I was entranced by a small hum in the air. It was distant, almost like an ethereal whisper you'd hear in horror games, but it was real. It sounded vaguely of a woman humming a tune I didn't recognize.
Hey, are you okay?
Let's go. We'll be late for class. I suddenly felt the need to walk away, so I did. Naomi and Suzu scrambled to catch up and follow me at my quickened pace.
Sheesh, Anderson. You look like you saw a ghost.
Seriously, none of you saw that?
Are you really okay? That fall was pretty bad.
Think she saw underneath Lisette's cake face and saw the devil itself.
Oh, Suzu, hush!
No, something was wrong with Lisette. It was more than just her being mean. There was something or someone watching over Lisette. Or they were watching me behind Lisette. What they were doing, I didn't know. It was definitely demonic. Surprisingly, the rest of the school day went off without another incident. I went to my class, had lunch, and was anxious to get home. As the bell rang for school to end, I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. A text from Dad. I'll be picking you up today. Make sure you're ready to go when I get there. That's kind of a surprise. I quickly headed back to my locker and got my things before waiting for Naomi and Suzu.
Hey, are you ready to go?
Actually, my dad's picking me up.
Really? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense.
We'll drive home together next time. Tell your dad that we've got you covered from now on.
Alright. Even while I laughed, something didn't seem right. My dad texted me to say this. Why was he going to pick me up? Wouldn't I done something wrong? I didn't know. I waved goodbye to Naomi and Suzu before heading off to the usual spot where my dad picks me up. I took the time to listen to my music while I waited. I need to go to another Rise of the Phoenix concert. Eventually, I played the entire album with no one showing up. What the hey? That's never late, especially not this late. I quickly dialed my dad's number again, but as soon as I pressed call, it disconnected and read a signal disconnection error message. What the? No signal error? How do I not have a signal? I double-checked my phone and saw all 5 bars for the signal. He must be in a dead zip. Before I could finish, a group of hands grabbed at my hands, feet, and covered my mouth. I screamed into the hand over my mouth, struggling to pull away from the hands grabbing at my limbs. It felt disgusting and scary. Feeling the hands on me, I needed it to stop.
Hey! Don't dirty up Malix's prey!
The voice, which sent a fearful shiver down my spine, whispered into my ear.
You're coming with me, Miss Anderson.
I couldn't fathom what was happening, but before I knew it, I was blindfolded, my limbs were quickly tied up. I felt myself being carried somewhere and was shoved into something that echoed the interior of a bus or a van. The doors closed and off I was taken, unsure where I was going and why. All I knew was that I was in trouble. All I saw was darkness. I felt numb as I was taken to a place I didn't know of, and I couldn't even move my limbs to scream. Sound slips past my ears. First the interior of a car, and then the outside, and then an echoing space with whispers and cackles of people vibrating through it. However, the wrap around my eyes was eventually removed from my face, and my bounds were cut. It took a while for my eyes to adjust, but I found myself in a warehouse surrounded by devils, including Alex, who was murking at me.
Nicely done! I'm sure those little shits will come running to find you when they realize you didn't return to your precious little mansion. They'll search everywhere for you.
Malex walked over and set the barrel of his gun against the skin between my eyes.
It'll be so funny when they find your dead body instead.
I'm not going in with a fight. Fight! No way was this happening. No way was I going to let myself be a victim of this. I can remember what was in the book.
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
I kept grumbling, trying to remember and shut my eyes. Studying for a brief second wasn't enough to keep a spell in my mind, but I had to try something, anything. All of a sudden, the air grew still and silent. I opened my eyes and looked around and gasped at the sight. Everything was frozen in time, as if the clock had stopped and everything had followed suit. What the... At first, I instantly wanted to move, but my feet were glued to the ground. I guess I couldn't change time and escape from where I was, but I was still lost. What was I supposed to do? A soft whisper of wind made me turn to a floating light purple orb. Oh, great, orbs again. I stared at it, glowing, giving off a warm feeling. For some reason, this thing made me feel happy and content. Despite the situation I was in, my heart felt like crying, yet I didn't know why. It couldn't have been. Grandfather? As I muttered, the orb slowly glowed and faded into a spirit of my grandfather. From when I last saw him, I stared at him, completely shocked that I was correct, that this form was standing in front of me.
I guess it was a good idea to bring the incubi here after all.
What? Is that really you? What do you mean? My grandfather smiled before patting my head gently. I couldn't feel it, but I knew he tried, so I closed my eyes in acknowledgement before looking at him again.
Sweetie, I'm sorry for not telling you, but I didn't know if you were ready to know.
What have you done, grandfather? Oh, great. That you handled demon magic.
Yes.
I like that. Straight flat out, yes. I knew about demons. I handled it, yes. Why? What is there to gain from learning and using demon magic?
It wasn't a matter of gaining anything except knowledge. Through magic, I was able to learn more about the demon world and its wonders. I even met your incubi friends.
You met the boys?
Yes. It was I who helped them come here. But it seems it was at the cost of my life.
That totally sucks. What? Why? Why sacrifice yourself like that? None of this made sense. He died to bring the incubi into the world, into the human world. Why? Why? My mind was practically screaming in anger. I needed answers. With time being frozen, we had all the time in the world. So that completely, but whatever. Why would you die for something like that? Why leave us alone? Why leave me alone?
I wasn't intending to, my dear. But now that I'm gone, you have a chance to find yourself without anything hindering you.
How would you be a hindrance? You wouldn't be a hindrance? What?
Your father had always been so hard on you. I'm to blame for that.
What?
He learnt of my studies before he married your mother and pushed me away, promising to never follow in my footsteps.
Wait. My father knew about demon magic. He knew. And I didn't have to hide the incubi from him.
As he was my son, I still loved and cared for him. I helped him in little ways, from paying bills and making sure he had food to come home with by adding money to his accounts. You don't know how hard your father worked to get to where he is now.
I can guess. I sat, trying to take it all in. It was true that my father worked really hard, but I didn't realize how rough he had it.
When you were born, I couldn't have been any happier. I tried to give you as many toys as I could, but many of them were tossed away by your father to protect you from me. I thought I would never be able to see you, but when I found you on the street, I was blessed enough to be given a chance. After I brought you back to your parents, I asked your mother to convince your father to let you visit me often, and he finally agreed.
Why does Dad hate you so much? Why put that on me?
Your father saw me as a monster. He was afraid I would hurt you. He wanted to protect you from me at all costs, even if it meant becoming a monster to you himself.
Well, that was a little bit too far, slapping me in the goddamn face. Why don't you just come out and tell her? Oh, by the way, your grandfather deals with demonic magic. I just don't want you messing with that. So if you could be like a good girl and not do that, then I won't have to become a monster and slap you in the goddamn face. I'm sorry. Okay, let's continue.
You did not know my father. You did not know what he was capable of.
Oh, good lord, now I've got my father being the Jiminy Cricket cheese. Louise, man. Oh, right, I get it. I don't know him.
He truly does love and care for you, but he doesn't want you to be as curious as I was.
Too late for that. Too late. Curious?
I chose to learn about magic. I grew curious about it. He thought that was wrong, so when I didn't give it up, he shut me out of his life.
Oh, yay.
What a stubborn old man.
So I did the only thing I could do. I gave everything I owned to you, including my hidden books your father never knew of.
Oh, my dad would be totally mad at you now. My head began to spin. There was too much information. It was all going too fast, despite time not moving a single inch.
I'm just so happy that my curiosity stayed with you.
You're happy that I'm getting myself into bigger mess by being curious about magic. I'm glad that you're enthusiastic that you want me to learn about magic. But hello? She's getting into a lot more trouble this way. So my grandfather met the incubi. That seems surreal. I could hardly believe it, yet here was the spirit of my grandfather telling me. It was almost like a dream. So you introduced them to the human world?
That's right. I told them about the wonders of our world, and they all wanted to come to experience it. So I helped them come over and gave them everything they needed. They traveled everywhere, and I helped them as they learned more about humans.
Okay, so as you notice, the incubi were still there, and so was the grandfather at the same time teaching them. Meaning that's not what killed him. Not them.
Then, I suddenly stopped breathing. I don't know why, but I believe it was because my time was up. After I died, the boys tried to come back. However, Malix attacked them instantly when they crossed his path. I used the last bit of my strength to guide them to the estate so they had a place to stay to heal.
So that's why they were in the house. But they said they didn't know about the house belonging to anyone.
I never told them it belonged to anyone. I merely told them to head to the estate for shelter until they could learn to live on their own.
If the estate was meant for them, why give it to me?
I never knew your father would move you in so quickly. Even still, you managed to learn of them and learn of the demon world. You even were curious enough to study the magic.
Why not teach me when I visited?
You were too young to understand. I was hoping that you would make the choice to learn on your own when you were ready to handle it. And you did. I'm so proud of you.
You're going to be a wizard, Harry. I'm sorry I had to say that. That had to come out at some point. You knew it was coming. Why? What are you saying? I've barely begun reading it. I don't remember anything.
I will help you remember.
Wow. Best Jiminy Cricket ever. Then my grandfather gently bent down and kissed my forehead. All at once my mind began to fill with spells and histories of arcane magic, the demon world, and everything my grandfather had known. I looked at my grandfather again, not able to remember everything and more. Now able to remember everything and more as he smiled down at me.
Never forget. Make your own choices and do what you need to do. Don't let someone determine your life for you. If you decide to never look at magic again, I'll understand. But now at least you know it's there.
My grandfather then patted my head before turning and walking away. I tried to follow after, still unsure and lost as ever, but my feet remained stuck to the floor. Wait, please. He didn't turn back, and he didn't stop walking. Soon he vanished past the wall, leaving me alone once again. I grunted my teeth, trying not to cry. My mind was filled with both the power to defend myself and a large amount of confusion I could never hope to shake off. And that was how you reunite with your goddamn dead grandfather. I could feel the air around me starting to move again, so I tightened my hands into fists, trying to push away my concerns. I had to remember, I was Malice's captive. I had to escape. After escape, I could figure out my life. So, here we go. Us versus Malix.